Hey everyone, welcome back, and we are going to continue kind of where we left off with the last episode. We're going to be talking about the Game Awards again, but this time it's going to be our impressions of what, I don't know what to call that whole thing, but we're going to talk about our impressions of it. However, as always, I'm Rick.
I'm John.
Nathan.
And we're 8-Bit Hindsight. All right, so first impressions, everybody. Game Awards. What do you guys think?
Kind of went how I'm still disappointed in a few of the selections, but it went how I thought it was going to.
If I were going to give it a grade, I would give it a C.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I want to know why.
Dude, the whole thing was boring, dude. Like, oh my
Yes.
god.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like 3.5, 4 hours. And
Bro,
like,
when you told me like that, when I looked at that video and I saw how long it was, I about damn near lost my mind. I had my finger on the freaking fast forward key through most of it.
I mean, I watched it on the day it was,
Oh, no.
live, so
No.
got a little better because they really started talking about more interesting games later on, but man, in the beginning, dude, it was just so boring.
Dude, you and I were talking about this after it released, Nathan, but dude, it had such an awkward feel to it, right? It had
Yeah,
that
they were trying so hard to be the Oscars.
yes. Dude, and at
It's
one
like-
point Al Pacino came out, and like I like Al Pacino as an actor, but like he's this old freaking dude. You think he's ever played a video game in his life? Why was he
hasn't played
there?
video games. He said that on the stage. He's like, my grandkids play video games, and it's like, okay, then why are you here? You know, no
Yeah.
one wants to see an old man, like an old man speak. You know, it just makes
Yeah.
you remind you of my grandpa kind of thing. You know,
Yeah, dude, but it's like that. Like, what was the point in it being him? Like, if it had been Henry Cavill, right? We would have been like, okay, the dude plays video games. The guy loves video games. The guy loves nerd culture. Why Al Pacino? He has
Doesn't
nothing to
make
do with them.
I mean, just because he's still famous.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
that big name just to
Yeah.
have a big name in your thing.
Yeah.
Like when you could have had smaller names for probably the same amount
Oh, for sure.
that were
I
more
completely agree,
connected with the actual medium and the community behind it.
well, they had another actor. I think he's in a couple of Tarantino movies. I don't remember his name, and then they had the Muppets, and it's just like, dude, what is this? And then on the stage, they have that big trophy in the background. It's just like the Oscars.
Yeah,
And
I was
You know, you
super
have to-
confused about the Muppet thing.
yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. And then all the people sitting there clapping in suits and stuff. It's like,
Dude.
man, like, what the hell, dude? I mean, video games to me, anyways, is not some elitist crowd of rich people stroking each other's egos and giving each other prizes. So I don't really understand why they're
Yeah.
copying the Oscars.
Dude,
And not only
100%
that-
like
Not only that, like video games now are the biggest medium now. You know, it's bigger than movies. So why do they have to copy the Oscars when Hollywood is in decline right now? Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Right? Why follow after somebody when you're already bigger?
Yeah,
But they don't
exactly.
realize that yet. And I think that's the thing is like nerd culture has springboarded in the last like 10 years and it's finally become kind of mainstream, but they don't know what to do with that. It's like the kid in school who was never popular that got popular. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, almost like they're not comfortable in their own skin yet.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to be a nerd to play video games anymore. Like, people used to say, like, you play games, you're a nerd. Why don't you go
Yeah.
outside and stuff? And that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
No.
But like it was just super weird. And the thing that really struck me, like not to like I have my own problems with E3, right? But back when they used to have E3 and they used to like premiere a new video game, you could hear the fans roar and like they were like tearing that just amphitheater apart if it was a game they were super excited about.
Oh, yeah.
There were some games I was very excited about that have huge followings and all you heard was like clap, 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 clap. And it was like,
A little golf clap.
okay, can we get some enthusiasm, please?
Yeah.
Like,
It's one game that had a lot of enthusiasm, but I guess we'll talk
yeah,
about
but
it.
like everything else was like, like a wedding engagement that, for your daughter that you're kind of disappointed in. Like, that's the kind of like energy level that we were getting there. And that's not the kind of energy level that you need for video games, dude. Video games is such an involved medium, and like you said, Nathan, it's the biggest medium now.
Yeah.
And it's fucking insane to me that like they treated it with that, dude. Like, it was gross.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a lot of really awkward things.
I mean, dude, also the other thing that made me think of the Oscars was when Best Actor or whatever won, and the God of War guy went on stage, and dude, he rambled for like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude. I completely fast forwarded through that when I realized he was giving an actual speech. I was
Dude,
like,
that was super
yo,
cred.
dude, get up there, talk for 1 minute about, how grateful you are for your thing or, your video game, and get off the stage. Like,
Yeah, I mean, most of them did that.
a lot of them
No,
did,
his
but
was
there was
long.
his was
though.
long, dude. I remember
yeah.
sitting there like clicking through it, like it's nothing on that guy. Like, he's a good voice actor. Like, Kratos has an amazing voice, but I didn't need a 10-minute segment in the middle of that for.
Well, he was like sharing stories, and then he was talking about how everyone said he wasn't gonna amount to anything, and it's like, calm down, man.
Yeah. I don't know. But okay, let's stop shitting on the aesthetics of what we saw, even though it was really cringy and didn't feel like it made any sense. Let's start talking about what our predictions were. So I think we all nailed it. Game of the year was Elden Ring, and very deservingly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, like if anything else had won, I would have been upset. But
Yeah.
Elden Ring also took a couple of other awards, but the thing I kind of thought was going to happen, and I think I even said it in our last podcast, was the thing that happened. Because Elden Ring won, they gave a bunch of other awards to God of War Ragnarok to kind of like make it seem like, oh yeah, we couldn't give it Game of the Year because it's not that good of a game, but we'll give it everything else. And it's like, hold on now. You gave, I think, more. If I did I didn't really count, but it felt like they gave God of War Ragnarok more awards than Elden Ring. And if that's the case, then why wasn't God of War Ragnarok the Game of the Year?
Well, I mean, but dude, I think Elden Ring won the bigger awards though, like Best Game Direction.
Best Game Direction. It
God
won Best Game of the Year. It won something else, and
Role-playing.
role-playing game. But that was it. As far as I remember.
Best Art Direction.
Yeah.
Did it win Best Art Direction?
Yeah.
it did.
Okay, so it won, 4? But then God of War Ragnarok won 6.
Well, so God of War Ragnarok won Best Narrative, which
is
bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
That
glad.
story's horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you wanna hear about that, go listen to our God of War Ragnarok episode. But my jaw hit the desk when I saw that. I was like, you absolute spoons! Like, what in the?
Yeah.
I could feel you cringing from 500 miles away, Nathan.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely cringing because I'm sure there are other games that have better story
Dude,
than
I
that.
I could pick just from the list of other games of the year, games that had better fucking stories than God of War Ragnarok.
I'm sure Stray even had a better story.
Ow. And we're going to get to our thoughts on that. But I think, all right, so let's talk about, I guess, clearly Elden Ring, all the awards it got, it deserved. Like, that studio is amazing. They really love their product. And, you could definitely, it was kind of cool that they had to have that guy up there translating for him. But the guy that, accepted the award was so humble and, it just seemed like he was a really good dude. So I
think he's a
enjoyed that.
genius.
Yeah, and that just seemed cool. It was like, all right, cool. And then they got the hell off the stage. They won Game of the Year and got the hell off the stage.
Well, dude, did you see that what happened during the speech? like right after it, some kid went up and said something about, "I'd like to thank my rabbi, Bill Clinton."
Yeah. I was so confused by that. I played it back like 3 times. I was like, who the hell is this kid and why is he doing that?
He got arrested.
Did he?
Yeah.
Dude, like, I was like super confused. I was like, is that kid like a part of the team?
I think the people up there were confused too. It was really weird.
Yeah, that was right up until you just said that. Like, I was like trying to figure in my head how that guy like was on the stage to begin with. Like, I didn't know that he wasn't part of it. I was just so confused.
Yeah, it's just really weird how people think that they can get away with anything now.
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
so
dude,
great.
like you will get arrested. Do not
Yeah.
rush stages. Like,
Yeah.
speaking as
What-
someone who worked as a bouncer for a while, like, don't go places you're not supposed to be. You will get beat up and thrown out. But
I mean,
yeah,
it did look like they put a lot of money in that on that stage.
they
So
did.
Yeah.
And then he was up there during Game of the Year. Like, the
Yeah,
dude
the
is
biggest
lucky that no
award.
one thought he was up there to do some harm. Because, like, if there was any kind of security there at all, that dude would have, like, just been destroyed. Let's go through some of the different categories, and we'll talk about who got what and why. So, we've already talked about Game of the Year. I was a little confused by player's voice. I think that one was it was like one that, like, I guess people chose.
probably.
And that one was given to Genshin Impact, which I've heard a lot about that game. I've just never played it, so
Yeah, it's free to play. I've never played it either. It's like a
Mm.
Chinese game in anime skin.
yeah. I mean, I know people who play it and they like it. I just never really got like into it. Best ongoing game though, that one was not a surprise. It went to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, not
Which makes
surprised at all.
sense.
Yeah.
For a second there though, I was a little nervous because I thought it was going to go to Genshin Impact, and I was like, ooh, snubbing Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
No.
14 is also like a good game. It was a good spiritual successor to 11. So,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Final Fantasy 16 trailer, popped up too.
we're yeah,
And it's
it
the
did.
same creator as Final Fantasy 14. That's why there's so much hype around that game.
Nice. Well, Final Fantasy 14 also took the community support. So, I
Yeah.
mean, they do put a lot of effort into that game. And like, that Final Fantasy is one of those ones that to me it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Cuz you're going to get a lot of hype and you're going to get a lot of attention. But the bar has been set so high for those games. If you fuck it up, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah. A lot of people love Final Fantasy so much. You can
Dude, it's
definitely get-
crazy though, because Final Fantasy 14 when it first came out was critically panned. Like everyone hated it, and now it's like the most played
I think
MMO
they
game.
fixed it.
Yeah, they did. They hired a new team and I think started from scratch.
I don't care
But-
about mobile games, so we're going to blow right past those. Now, this one I do want to talk about. Arcane being the best adaptation of a video game, 100% deserved. That
100%,
show
yeah.
crushed it. Like, that is how you do an adaptation.
Is that the TV show?
Yeah, Arcane is the TV show of
League of Legends.
yeah. And like they got like the attitude of the characters right. They got like the world building right. Like that it was just a phenomenal one, and it absolutely blew everything else out of the water. So,
Yeah.
good job, Arcane.
It's so good. Like based off of League of Legends, it's very accurate and everything. They get voices down. Somehow they got voices down within the game, and I mean it's crazy how they do that. But I also have a bunch of friends that have never played League of Legends, and they still really enjoyed it. So the fact that can happen
Yeah,
is a really cool thing. Also,
100%. Like it's a good show standalone.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's just enhanced if if you've played the game. But yeah, I can't wait for the second season of it.
yeah, I can't either. I'm watching like normally I'll wait for a little bit, but that's one show that I have to watch like the day it's available.
Nope, I binge them once the
Yeah.
last episode comes out.
No.
Okay, so moving on. Oh, sorry.
Wait, hold on. I've watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and I thought that was really good.
Was
that
it?
anime?
That one
Yeah,
I haven't
I-
seen.
It's by Trigger, the people who made Kill la Kill and
Really?
yeah. So,
Is
dude,
it
it's really
an actual
stylish. It's really
adaptation
good.
of the Cyberpunk game?
It's a story based in the Cyberpunk universe. And when
Oh,
I watched it, that's what made me buy Cyberpunk, the game, and play it.
really?
So yeah, it's really good because before Cyberpunk, was riddled with glitches and all that kind of stuff, bugs.
Yeah, yeah,
But
dude, that whole game is a case study in why you don't release before you're ready,
right,
and
but
also why
so
you
I
try to
was
make
not
time.
interested in that game. But when I watched the anime, I really, really liked it. So
Okay, well, maybe I'll give that one a look then. But Arcane
yeah,
was
very
just
stylish.
beautiful, great design, 100% across the board. That doesn't mean it's perfect, obviously. It just means like it was really well done. Role playing game, obviously, that one went to Elden Ring, which,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess it is a role playing game. And I mean, dude, anything Elden Ring competed in, I kind of feel like it crushed. So if there's
yeah.
something it competed in that it didn't win, I'm a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like won the best audio when God of War won that. It's like, dude,
Dude, yeah,
I
I
got
was like, what?
Elden Ring.
That one made my eyebrows shoot up. I was like, what are you talking about? So, anticipated game. So, this one, I'm going to touch on this one a little bit, but like we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I kind of felt like it was kind of just a popularity contest anyway, because everything on here except for Starfield, so Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, which won, Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy 16, and Resident Evil 4, all of those games are like, dude, next year is so stacked. Like, I will play every single one of those games.
Yeah.
Like, I would have trouble really actually saying which one like I'm most excited about. Hogwarts Legacy and Zelda are definitely up there, but like I'm excited to see what they do with Resident Evil 4,
Me
and
too.
I'm also excited that there's a new Final Fantasy game.
Dude, that game looks awesome. They all look awesome.
Yeah, they all look really good.
Yeah, so that one I feel like that was just a popularity contest, but honorable mention anyway. So the one that confused me the most, though, was the innovation and accessibility, which God
Yeah,
of War Ragnarok won. And I like Nathan. Maybe you understood that one a little bit better, but I understood that as this is a game that's really easy for new people.
Yeah.
That's
Is that what that
didn't
is?
get this one either.
I think innovation and accessibility just means that it's easier for people to play if they have, I guess like bad hand-eye coordination or they have, you know, they have some disability of some kind. So I don't know. That I guess that's what it means. But when I played God of War Ragnarok, I didn't really get the sense that it was like accessible necessarily. I thought it
I
was
think
very
I think it mean like well, what I accepted that as was like it's very easy for new people who aren't necessarily like hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, they do tell you, how to solve the puzzles every second. So
Well, and like the first God of War had a mode on it that literally was just tell me a story. Like it's super vanilla, like no real actual challenge to it. So it's like okay.
right.
I didn't really know any of the other games on there except Last of Us Part One, which is that just a remake of the first half of The Last of Us?
I think it is.
Yeah, it's just a straight up remake with nicer graphics, which,
Dude, get the
I think they
fuck.
should have just gone with the Resident Evil 4 route where it's like change up a few things and make it better, but
Dude,
no, it's just a remake of the same thing.
I'm so tired of remakes.
Just doesn't make sense.
And then, of course, God of War Ragnarok won the narrative, but like, I don't know. I feel like shenanigans were had there because it was up against like removing Elden Ring, right? Because the narrative in Elden Ring is buried. You have to really look for it.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So I could understand that, right? But are you telling me that the narrative in Horizon Forbidden West and A Plague Tale Requiem was not? Because if those weren't on par with God of War Ragnarok, I think they should have, in all honesty, put different nominations up there.
Yeah, I mean, they have I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 yet, but supposedly that has a good story. I'm surprised that's not on there.
Yeah, like I feel like there were a lot of other games you could have put on this list. It almost felt like this one was just a foregone conclusion that they were going to give it to God of War. And that's one of those things that makes me kind of cringe when I see, like, you know, groups like this that do Game Awards, because I'm like, okay, you're going to do some shenanigans just to give popular games their award when it doesn't necessarily deserve it. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think God of War deserved this award.
I don't either, dude. The story is, I don't think, very good, and it's not tight, and it's all over the place, and they introduce way too many characters. So
yeah, ridiculous. Okay, so here we go again. God of War Ragnarok 1 action adventure game. Like, okay, I've seen some play of Stray, so I'm not a huge fan. And Plague's Tale, I didn't really like the first Plague's Tale either. So, but you're telling me that it's a better action adventure game than Horizon Forbidden West? Are you kidding me?
well, you knew it was gonna win something. You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying,
I've
though,
never
bro.
played
Like,
one.
some of these, like, I hate it when something that is by merit, objectively probably a better, more fun game, gets passed over just because there's like a rabid fan base for something.
Yeah.
And God of War Ragnarok falls into that. That's why, like, dude, and remember my, it was like 2 weeks ago that we did that episode, right? The God of War one?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Was I right or was I not right that people were going to treat that game with kid gloves?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I think we all said it. Like, when we came to this category, we said that we thought Horizon Forbidden West should win it, but God of War Ragnarok was.
So we were right.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, when we did the actual God of War Ragnarok video and we talked about how bad the game was, I still said there, you know, they're going to treat it nicely just because.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of proved that point. Anyway, so moving on, and I think, John, you had a issue with this one earlier. Best multiplayer game, Splatoon 3.
I did have a slight issue with that one.
Yeah, I'm curious. What do you think?
Well,
Because you're super competitive, so...
Yeah, I mean, Splatoon 3 wasn't a bad game, but basically, you run around a little arena and you're trying to paint the ground, and after a certain amount of time, whoever has more paint on their ground, like based on your color, wins.
Hey, didn't they do that in God of War Ragnarok too?
No, it was just an aesthetic thing there. It was dumb.
I know that. I was just calling back to that.
I don't see how. I mean, Call of Duty. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty games, but like I think they're way overhyped. There's no realism to them for me, and so I'm not the biggest fan. But I feel like Call of Duty is like, I think it's the biggest game on here out of all these games. Multiverses was an extremely popular game when it came out. I think a lot of people are still playing it.
What about Overwatch 2?
Overwatch 2 is just a huge game. I don't see how, like, it's accessible on. I think it's crossplay with like Xbox and PC on a game where you can only play on Switch. I don't think a game should ever be able to beat a game that's accessible on multiple platforms, especially when both of those platforms are bigger than the Switch platform.
Yeah, and so this
See that
one,
point.
yeah, this one falls into that space that I'm going to talk about in a minute with another game, but it falls into that thing where it feels like they needed to give an award to this group like Nintendo just to, you know, placate the fact that they showed up, you know. Otherwise, it's like, oh, maybe they're not going to support them again, kind of thing.
Oh, Overwatch 2 could have lost just because of all the ridicule that Blizzard's been getting the past 2 years. Also,
Well, I heard there was a bunch of controversy with Overwatch 2 also because a lot of people were saying it's very similar to 1.
Yeah, actually, did know people who played it, and they said that exact thing too.
That is my issue with it, but it is still very fun. The champions that they introduced to it are very interesting. Like, there's a new support that I loved playing. I already stopped playing.
But here's my question. How different is Splatoon 3 from 1 and 2?
It's not different whatsoever.
Then there you go. Then that's not something to take off Overwatch 2 about.
Right.
Anyway, so...
Splatoon does have a big fan base, though. And it is a pretty unique kind of multiplayer
But
kind of experience.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think I played the first one a little bit. I wasn't super fan of it, so I
I'm
just
surprised Modern
feel
War-
like Call of Duty and Overwatch should have beaten it out.
I'm surprised Modern Warfare 2 didn't win though, because a lot of people seem to like that game, the actual new one.
Yeah, it is. I haven't played it yet, but from what I've seen, it's extremely similar to most people's. It's named after most people's favorite Modern Warfare Call of Duty game, and I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite as well.
Same.
So I'm
Mine too,
waiting to
actually.
play this one.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
game that put Call of Duty on the map, really,
Yes.
like really made it its own thing. So
Yeah. for sure.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of things, but yeah, that was like once it kind of won between all the other first-person shooter war games. Like Call of Duty 2 just solidified the fact that it was between that one after that and what was it? Black Ops. What was that one?
yeah, Black
Black
Ops
Ops.
came later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it became between Call of Duty and whatever that other game was.
Yeah, a lot of people really liked Black Ops, but it had such a different feel over Modern Warfare 2 that I just couldn't get over it and stopped playing until they introduced Modern Warfare back into it.
When I sniped someone from across the map with an SMG with a red dot in Black Ops, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
This game has no interest in me. And that was like the
That's
first time I played. One of my friends was like, "Hey man, you want to come over and play Black Ops?" I was like, "Sure, I'll try it." And then I did that shot, and he just kind of looked at me. He was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, "Dude, this game is easy and boring."
That's funny.
So I stopped.
But I definitely think there could be other games on this list.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move along though. Audio design, God of War Ragnarok again. This one I kind of have a problem with too, because I thought the music and such in Elden Ring was phenomenal.
Dude, I honestly think the one that should have won this was Gran Turismo 7.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
because
so.
yeah, like dude, if you look at some of so if you look at Gran Turismo 7 and how they designed the audio, like you can look it up on YouTube. Like, dude, some of the stuff they did is freaking insane. So like I'm actually really surprised. Like they have 3D audio in it, supposedly like each car sounds and feels different, that's a huge
that's a lot of stuff
technical
to put in
achievement,
there.
So
Wow.
I'm just surprised that didn't win. Although Gran Turismo 7 did win something, I don't remember what it was, but
It was
Best
like the
racing
best
game.
racing game. Like,
Yeah,
of course
best
it was
sports
going to win
racing.
that though.
right.
It was best sports and racing game. So
Okay. Well,
I-
that at least it won something.
There was
Yeah.
what I'm saying is I just feel like of the games on this list, God of War Ragnarok was.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's crazy. At least Gran Turismo 7 and Elden Ring should have won.
And the Horizon games usually have some pretty decent audio design though. Like,
Yeah.
like they're pretty games and they sound good. Like I'm just surprised that like it won. But again, I think this was the year of like pandering to God of War. So
Yeah. Well, hey, at least even when they were pandering, it still lost Game of the Year. So
Yeah.
they have at least,
Yeah.
at
Okay,
least have some reputation, right?
so
really feel like they're being uproar but dead.
no idea, man. There were some of the ones on here though that like we didn't talk about, and I mean I'm just gonna run through these really quick just for some honorable mentions, but we're not gonna like really deeply discuss. Best fighting game went to Multiverses, which is really interesting to me that it beat out King of Fighters 15, but that's also gonna come up to something that I saw during this that we're gonna talk about, which was super exciting for me. Sifu looked really good. The other ones, eh. Family game was Kirby the Forgotten Island. Kirby games are super popular. I don't care about content creator of the year or performance was Christopher Judge for God of War Ragnarok. I'll give him that, right? Kratos sounds great. And I think he acts the hell out of it. But I just think like what they gave him to work with wasn't great. Because he does have that like voice that matches Kratos.
Yeah, he has that very like fatherly, masculine kind of presentation. Which
so
fits.
I don't blame Christopher Judge for that. I blame the writing team that kind of fucked him.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
The fact that he's also on there though with Sonny, however the hell you say his last name, which played Atreus. Ouch.
Wow, dude.
Right?
Oh my god. Yeah,
Anyway,
that
though.
sounds terrible.
And then, like you said, Gran Turismo 7 won Sports Racing Game of the Year, which, I mean, it was up against NBA 2K23, F1 22, which I'd never even heard of, FIFA, which I think probably was the only one that had a chance at beating it, and then
No.
Oli
I think
Oli
it-
World, which I have no idea what that even is. So
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but basketball games usually do pretty well. And
Oh, yeah.
I know that a lot of streamers were enjoying the NBA 2K23.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, the 2K games have been around forever. Since
Yeah, but
2000, actually. Precisely.
They always do a phenomenal job with the Gran Turismo games. I've always been a huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For-
it looks
for
good. I want
racing.
to play it.
Dude, I miss the old Burnout games. That's just me, though. So, esports game, Valorant took that one, which was surprising to me that League of Legends wasn't able to beat it out, but I guess League of Legends has been kind of falling apart for a while, so.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I mean,
Valorant seems to be, like, stupidly popular right now, so
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
I'm not
go
that
for it.
surprised.
Yeah.
Valorant's definitely real popular. Rocket League is getting up there, and yeah, League of Legends has just been slowly like it's been hasn't been dying. It's just been very stagnant. Like it was still the most popular esports event of the year,
Yeah.
but just Valorant is definitely continuing to be on the rise.
And then, I think Valorant will continue as long as nothing crazy happens. Moving on to art direction, obviously Elden Ring dominated this one. Like,
Yeah.
the game is just beautiful. Like, I didn't play a lot of it, but, like, what I did see of it, like, I'm never disappointed in FromSoft games for the way they look, you know?
Yeah, they have a lot of like interesting locations and just really strong art
Yeah.
design.
Dude, actually, I really like the fact that, like, when you're in a different location in a FromSoft game, you feel that. Like, you could tell just from, like, a snapshot where you are.
Yeah, definitely.
They're very distinct. But it beat God of War Ragnarok, Horizon. Dude, I feel like Horizon Forbidden West really got snubbed.
A little bit.
It did.
Like, it was nominated
Oh.
for so many things, and I don't think it won anything.
No, it didn't.
That's sad. Even Stray won something.
Yeah.
And here we go again, man. Score and soundtrack went to God of War Ragnarok.
Dude, a lot of people who like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 were saying that should have won. So, but I also think Elden Ring has really strong music, and I don't know. I didn't really think
Well,
God of War had great
so-
music. I mean, it had good music, but not
I'm wondering if maybe like there wasn't like an actual like push or like a distinctness in the soundtrack, because it does say score soundtrack. Maybe God of War actually produced like an actual soundtrack where maybe Xenoblade Chronicles really didn't put too much effort into the actual soundtrack release and put all their effort into the game. So maybe that hurt them. I don't know, because I haven't heard just like the soundtrack for any of these except that like in the game, right? And God of War didn't. I don't know, man. It doesn't seem. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about how much I hate God of War.
I mean, it is good. There's a lot of like chanting and operatic sounds and
That's true.
that kind of
I guess
thing.
I'm
But
being a little harsh on it there. For the
but
sound.
Elden Ring, dude, the boss fights during that, like the music is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying though. Like, it immerses you. Elden Ring and all of the FromSoft games, their audio design is just amazing, and it like immerses you into that world, which is why I'm super like weirded out that God of War Ragnarok kept taking soundtrack and stuff.
Probably to appease the people who want God of War to win Best Year.
Yes, that was the
game.
implication. All right, so let's move on. I think you called this next one, Nathan, the action game going to Bayonetta 3. But I think you said you wanted it to go to Neon White.
I didn't. Well, so I haven't played Neon White, so I can't say. But I do think Bayonetta 3 is really flawed. The ending of that game is just god awful.
Dude, so were you excited? I was a little bit like, but I'm not like super into the Bayonetta games. But were you excited to see Bayonetta Origins be announced?
Fuck no, dude. That game looks horrible.
Dude,
Oh
it
my
looked,
God,
it just felt too cutesy for a Bayonetta
It doesn't
game.
make any sense. And dude, when you play Bayonetta 3, you get the sense that Platinum Games, the creators of Bayonetta and stuff, they I think they're starting to go downhill. I think maybe their talent is leaving the company or something because there's a certain polish that they used to have that I think they're starting to lose. And then when I saw that Bayonetta like cutesy, what is that? Like indie looking game, it's like what are you doing? Like Bayonetta does not evoke that kind of image or gameplay. It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't really get it. And Bayonetta 3, I think Bayonetta 3 is a good game, but it also has a lot of problems. And also the ending, dude, the way the game ends, it just doesn't make really a lot of sense. Like it's kind of a downer of an ending, which is weird for a game like this. And I don't know, there's something wrong with the studio. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they can get their feet back when they announce Project GG, it looks like a kind of an Ultraman-like game.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that could be really cool. So hopefully they'll get back on their feet with that game.
Okay, so, I mean, we all knew this next one was coming, right? Best independent game went to Stray.
Yeah, we called it. I mean,
I think
it
its
was
only
obvious.
real competitor was Cult of the Lamb. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, I've watched, like, people play Stray because I'm not buying the fucking game. It just seems boring.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I played like 2 hours of it, and I just couldn't play it. It was not very
Especially
fun.
with all the other indie games that have come. Like, we do indie game spotlights on this show, on this channel, like, once a month. And, like, each time, like, we could talk about indie games that came out this year every time, and, like, most of them are better than this. I don't understand how the nomination process for this works.
Yeah. I mean, but dude, it was kind of obvious though, because Stray was in the Game of the Year category, so it was gonna win Best Indie.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still like,
I know. I literally all the other indie games look more interesting.
And the next
Just because
thing,
it's a cat.
huh?
Just because it's a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
What? But Tunic is like a cool little. I don't know what he is, but he's cute. Like,
Yeah,
It's not a
that's
cat.
cool.
it's not a cat.
Not a cat. Not a cat.
We got a lamb, and we got whatever the hell Tunic is, but it's not a cat with a backpack. Cat with a
Alright.
backpack. That was the real seller.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotta have a cat with a backpack.
John, it's about that time where you and I lose our freaking minds.
Oh no.
Yep.
I'm not ready.
Best strategy game went to Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope. Oh my god, dude. It was up against freaking Total War Warhammer 3, and it lost.
Yeah, I'm real disappointed. Well, okay. The only possible way I could see that happening is there was a real issue with Total War Warhammer 3 before it got the expansion, the Immortal Empires expansion. A lot of people didn't like how you finished the game. And I can see that, but like
Okay, fair.
a Mario game.
Well, okay, in all fairness to the Mario game, that Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope, I think there was a previous one that they also kind of made like a strategy tactical game.
Yeah, I played it.
But I don't think of that as like the epitome of strategy. I think it looked interesting and looked fun, but like when I think of like if you're telling me strategy game of the year, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah.
Total War would be it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like there's also just some other like I don't necessarily I think it could have been on there. I think it's one of those things like you can't let Mario lose to Total War. Kind of
It's
thing.
because it's Mario. Maybe because they're.
I think it's because the
they're
new
making a
Mario
movie.
movie is coming out.
Yeah, it's probably because of the movie.
Yeah, because there was
Yeah, I
dude, there
didn't
was
even think of
Mario
that.
movie shit all over the Game
Yeah.
Awards.
Yeah, there were. That was really annoying too.
Yeah. Anyway,
But well, I'm surprised they didn't have like triangle strategy or like deal field on there.
yeah, because it would have been even more obvious that they were pandering to Mario.
Right. Yeah, I've never even heard of Victoria 3. I've heard of the others, but
Victoria is
Yeah.
not a bad game. It's just it's very niche because it's a lot more from what I've seen, it's a lot less war and a lot more like involved in like the strategy aspect for like negotiation and stuff like that, and world
Okay.
and like country building and such.
That's
And 2 Point
that's
Campus
stuff I
is
enjoy.
like 2 Point Campus is more like a Sims kind of thing. So I don't even think it should have been on this list, but
Well, it's best simulation / strategy. So
yeah, those are two things
that's-
you shouldn't be combining.
Right.
They're
definitely.
Yeah.
100% different.
Yeah. And then I didn't care about the best VR game, and I didn't really know most of them. So best debut indie game, which I was kind of confused about what the debut indie game. I guess that just means that's the first one from the studio, but Stray took that one too. So
So I guess the graphics are pretty impressive for a first time.
yeah,
Okay.
like okay, if that's something you like that kind of game, I'm not saying that Stray is a terrible game. I'm just saying,
It's not our game.
yeah, it's not for me. I wouldn't have given it that.
Yeah.
But then, we get down to studio game direction. Obviously, Elden Ring's From Software and Bandai Namco took that for Elden Ring.
Yeah, very obviously. Like,
But
mean,
if you're counting along at home, I think that actually means that Elden Ring won fewer awards than God of War, but still won Game of the Year.
well, but dude, a lot of the stuff that I think God of War 1 is kind of, side stuff. Because if it's art direction, game direction, and Game of the Year, those are like the top categories,
Yeah,
Those are all
but like
huge
we
categories.
also disagreed with the ones that God of War won that it beat out Elden Ring for. So that just furthers my thing that it's like they're like,
Pandering.
here you go. Yeah, they're pandering. They're giving like, hey, here you go, God of War. Don't feel bad that you didn't win Game of the Year. We had to give it to them, or otherwise the fans would have rioted.
It's a participation award.
It's the participation version. Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So that gets us through all of the awards. Was there anything that like debuted that you were super interested in?
You mean like
Just each
Game
of us
now?
pick one thing that's that debuted at the Game Awards for us to say, hey, that was really cool. It could be anything. It could be movie, whatever was coming out.
very, very easily Armored Core 6.
You took mine.
Dude, that game looks freaking awesome.
I have been
cannot
waiting
wait.
10 years for another Armored Core game. I cannot wait.
Dude, that was so freaking cool. And Jeff Keighley, the host, hyped up the announcement right before it was announced. And I thought it was going to be like GTA 6 or something. And then when it was a new Armored Core game, I was like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. And it looks great.
It looks freaking amazing. Also, it's about time we had a mech game,
Yeah, we've been... Dude, I'm waiting for them to restart the old Front Mission series. Like, I loved that series. Front Mission 4 was great.
They just released the re-release, I guess, of the first one.
Yeah, but I want Front Mission 4, damn it.
Right.
And the weird thing is, like, they all haven't been, like, ported over. Like, that's... To me, that's weird. But
well, same with Armored Core, though. It's like you can't
True.
play it unless you have like a PS3 or a PS2.
or like an old Xbox 360 or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess the one that actually caught my eye, since you took mine, it was Judas. The one from the makers of
From
BioShock.
BioShock? Yeah.
Like, I feel like that could go one of two ways. It could be actually a really interesting, fun game, because it's really pretty looking. It seems like it has an interesting story. Or it could go absolutely into the bin. So
I
we'll
mean,
see.
dude, I really liked the first BioShock game, but man, BioShock Infinite, the third one, is probably the most pretentious game I've ever played. So
Yeah, BioShock went downhill a little bit.
yeah.
Just a bit. But it's from the first maker, I think. I think it's from the dude who
They're
made
all
the first
created by the
BioShock.
same people.
Oh, are they? Fuck.
Yeah.
Never mind. My enthusiasm for that game has now dwindled. All right, John, what about you?
Yeah, mine would probably have to the one I'm looking forward to the most on this list, on the list of games that they introduced, would have to be Baldur's Gate 3. I am severely waiting on that game.
Yeah, you love
to
the Baldur's
fully-
Gate games.
Yeah,
Actually, what am I talking about? Those are good games.
those
I
are
like
great
those
games.
games.
Yeah,
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've had some tears, some laughs, God of War was a terrible game. If you like what you heard, please like follow this podcast or subscribe, all that goodness. Leave us comments. Like, tell us if you disagree with us about any of the different things that we've talked about. Did you actually think that God of War Ragnarok was a good game? If so, I'm going to recommend you to a rehab facility because you're high, but, you know, you have that opinion, and it is an opinion, not a fact. So anyway, guys, do you have anything you want to go ahead and say to the audience before we end this one, or Nate?
Well, there was like a couple of games that were kind of interesting that were announced. Like there was one that was kind of like, it looked like a Souls-like game. I don't remember what it was called. There was also Death Stranding. Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
I totally forgot Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2 also, which I have no idea what that game is going to be like at all. It looks trippy, but
dude,
and I wasn't the biggest fan of the first.
Those games always look really good. It's just like I don't know. I just didn't get into those. So, what was the other one? Earth?
What is it?
What was the other game you were talking about?
Oh, I don't remember what it was called, but it was hold on, I'm trying to find it here, but it was it looks like a Souls-like game. It's very obviously influenced.
Oh, dude, I can't believe I freaking forgot about it, dude. Like, we're gonna get crucified by our audience. Hades 2, dudes. Looks awesome.
2 also. Yeah.
That was like one of the first ones that they premiered, and it looks gorgeous. And like, I haven't really gotten much into the Hades games because I wasn't really like into those kind of games when that one came out and kind of got popular and then died down. But like, I love the art style of those games. They look so unique and so good.
Yeah, they do the graphic novel look really well.
Yeah, and then it has that like nice, bright, vibrant, like neon light looking kind of stuff, and like it just fits well with that like style that they have. Dude, I love the way those games look.
Yeah. Also, Final Fantasy 16.
Oh,
looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Nate?
I think that's about it. I mean, overall, I thought it was disappointing until Armored Core was released. The trailer was released.
That's literally the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then Final Fantasy 16 trailer, which was the last thing they showed. So.
And then
those were the highlights.
And then that weird, awkward guy that like ran up during the Game of the Year presentation. That was strange.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I had no idea what was going on. I had to rewatch that like 6 times. I'm like, but anyway, yeah, guys, we really appreciate y'all listening. We really appreciate y'all coming here and hanging out with us for a little bit. Like I said, definitely, if you disagree with us, let us know. If you agree with us, let us know. It makes us feel better. But until next time, we're 8-Bit Hindsight, and we'll see you guys next time.